Welcome to Strangle School. I'm Josh Moody. I got my buddy Rudy here. Today we're going to be talking about some guard passing. If this is your first time to Strangle School, please remember to hit subscribe so you never miss any of our great content. I put out a new video every Monday and every Friday. If you're a returning member, please click the link below, check out the Patreon, and support your local Strangle School. Today we're going to be talking about float passing. It's all the mobility of standing passing with all the pressure of kneeling passing. Float passing. I approach Rudy and he's in a seated guard. I don't want to just approach all willy-nilly. I actually want to put him back on his back. If he stays seated, he's probably going to look to put it in a shin-to-shin guard, or he's going to start looking to come up on a single leg, and I don't want to have to fight those things. I want to put him back on his back where he loses a lot of his mobility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step forward and I'm going to come low. It's very important that I don't just lean forward for this. Okay, I don't want to give him my head, and I don't want to be in an unathletic position. So I always level change, and I grab both of his ankles. As I stand up, I'm going to pop my hips and flip his feet into the air. So I stand up, I pop, and I flip. Once I do that, I'm going to step in and I'm going to crowd his legs, and I'm going to control one of his legs with my knees. I come forward, I pop, I flip, his leg comes back, and I claim it with my knees. And I'm going to drive both of my knees to his chest. My hands are going to go to the floor above his head. And I'm going to start to ride the wave with my hips. So my knees go forward, my hands go to the mat, my weight goes to his chest, and I can start to ride this wave and manipulate him around. Okay. Pinch. I'm going to slide, pinning his thigh to the floor. My knee is on the mat and my toes are on the mat. My weight is back on my butt so that I got him pinned to the floor. I'm going to dig for an underhook on this side, and I personally like to use an overhook on this side. If you know how to do this knee slide with an underhook, that's exceptional as well, but I've always found it easier to do this overhook. When I get this overhook, I'm going to cup his elbow, and I like to try and trap his wrist up in my armpit. I don't want him to have his hand free and be able to still use this hand to frame, or just circle and he gets his hand right back. All that's been bad for me. But if I can tuck this in here, that's my arm. My head's going to go nice and low, all the way to the floor. My shoulder is actually pinning his skull to the floor, which makes it very hard for him to move. The guard pass now comes when I replace my knee with my hip. My knee is replaced with my hip. And what that does is, if Rudy was back here biting down on my ankle, and I try and pull, nothing happens. Look, why? His two legs are facing this direction, and my toe gets stuck at the bottom. When I replace my knee with my hip, you'll see my foot rotate. And now, no matter how hard he squeezes, my foot will slide out. There are things he can do to slow you down, but once you change the profile of your foot, it slides out much easier. I approach Rudy's guard, I flip him on his back. When his legs start coming down, I claim him with my leg. My hands go to the floor, my weight goes to Rudy, and I start to slide my knees to the mat. I'm going to dig for this underhook. I'm going to get my head below his head, and I'm going to pin him to the floor with my shoulder and head. I'm going to control an overhook, and I'm going to replace my knee with my hip. I point my toes, and if you ever get this foot stuck, I'll use my secondary leg to kick and get it free. I use my butt to drive his hips away from me, and I can circle to side control. Thanks for studying at Strangle School. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This time and every time, thank you for being here.